I don't know whether I'm going to get smacked by a full-on bitter astringent French roast, or am I going to get seduced by some sort of subtly dark, romantic coffee?
The suspense is mounting. Let me get rid of this, and can we please bring on the next coffees? If these dark roasts get any darker, it'll be radio.
I may be completely wrong once I taste it, but right now what I'm getting is another timid dark roast.
A timid dark roast, okay.
Yeah, but I'll taste it, and it.
Sure.
I think one of the issues with dark roast too, of course, is that the structure is dominant in how we experience the coffee, not the aromatics. So I may not be picking up much of the structure in this, because it's pretty sweet in a half-hearted way, roasting.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Yeah. You know, this is not an extreme dark roast, but it's a pretty dark roast. When I was talking about the second crack, this is sort of well into the second crack.
Yeah.
Kevin, I'm going to pour a little of number one.
Okay,
To compare
that's
it.
fine. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Roast I've ever tasted.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a dark roast fan. Here's your number one.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so we're going back and forth between numbers 1 and 3 a little bit. Kind of interesting.
Well, I just poured two also.
Oh, you poured
so
two
I'm
also.
Smelling all three.
Okay,
Yeah.
well I can do that as well. So now we're doing some comparisons. This works out really well. Now, are you just smelling, or are you drinking?
I'm still
Okay.
smelling. I'm wondering, Kevin, whether by starting with the Sumatra, we're understating the influence of the bean. That this very powerful presence in the Starbucks in number one isn't partly owing to the bean, because what I get in this number 3 is that it's a pretty dark roast, but it doesn't have the energy.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the power of the Starbucks Sumatra. But let me taste it. Did you have anything else on the nose that you want to?
I mean, number one, and again, look, this may end up being one of my many mistakes in life, but I started with the Sumatra, and yes, there's a risk to that. It does have such a big entrance.
Yeah. Well, I was attributing it all to the roast, or most of it, but now I'm changing my tune. There's no depth. There's not much depth. I'm getting the dark roast in front. There's not much in front for me. The finish is a little more satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting some kind of bittersweet, pleasant, bittersweet character. The astringency is understated. It's just basically pleasant. Getting the usual, a kind of a crisp cocoa-like chocolate, or maybe a nut like you've ever tasted roasted coca nibs. But the body, the viscosity is it's pretty thin. So I'm really guessing on this, but I would say that that if you did a machine reading of the roast color, it would be pretty dark. The roast is done. It hasn't really contributed a lot of bitterness or astringency, but it's perhaps exhausted some of the oils that give it the body, some of the substances that give the impression of body.
So ironically, even though most people, I'm guessing that most people think that a darker roast inherently has more body, it actually gets to a point where it actually reduces the sensation of body. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whether you got what's often called a dark French roast or French roast. Mm-hmm. These roasts, the body, they're thin. I mean, everything's been roasted out of the bean almost except cellulose, really, in the most extreme. So that, no, they're thin-bodied. To me, I hope we have one so I can really carry on in an obnoxious way about it.
I know you will be able to do that. I have ultimate confidence in you about that.
I'll say that when I first started Coffee Review years ago, I decided, I'd do a tasting of of French roasts. So I got a lot of these ultra dark French roasts. They were very plentiful in California at the time. And I couldn't write the article because they literally almost tasted all the same.
Yeah.
So, but I want to make it clear, I'm not talking about all dark roasts. I am not speaking about all dark roasts. I'm talking about extreme dark roasts that are often sold as French or dark French roasts. Mm-hmm. Something like this full-on Starbucks Sumatra. It pronounces what it is, and it does it in a very powerful and if you like the style, very pleasant way. Now this one, as I say, I think somehow it has the characteristics of a dark roast but lacks some of the benefits. Because it lacks body.
Yeah.
And it lacks complexity. Yeah. It lacks depth.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It lacks depth. That's.
I have to work to get the chocolate a little bit. Kind of like a walnut tinged cocoa or something like that. It has a finish a lot like walnuts, a kind of a pleasantly astringent.
Let's put some milk in it, because I want to try it and see if it changes my perceptions.
Well, for me, it just sort of dies even farther. It was sort of thinning out in sensation as a black coffee, and it thins out even more with half and half.
Yeah.
Sorry to say.
Yeah, I'm not getting the chocolate. I had hoped that it might just...
Not chocolate.
Well, I'm going to...
Oh, maybe in the finish, the long finish, the chocolate starts to
emerge a bit,
make itself known and appreciated.
Okay, well let's reveal. It's fundamental coffee. And it's a Humbucker blend.
Humbucker blend.
And it's got Colombian Medellin.
And it's Guatemala, Colombia,
and
Sumatra.
But Sumatra's at best a third. I mean, I'm saying assuming it's 3 equal parts approximately.
Oh, they show the proportions.
Oh, do they? Okay.
That's nice.
Oh, yeah, that is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, remember the old days? They wouldn't. The roasters wouldn't even say what
yeah,
was
everything's
in their
a
blends.
secret. Yeah, I know.
And now, this is couldn't be. Well, I suppose it could be more explicit, but it's pretty
Very
explicit.
transparent. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So,
I like that quality. I like the roaster.
Well-
I like Scott. Yeah, and you know, of course, we're going to do it honest, even if once in a while, you know, it's disappointing, because I want people to just feel like they can at least trust us to be honest, if not correct. I'm happy to have people post below when you subscribe and you have a comment. If you disagree with everything, please let us know. That's fine. When I met him at CoffeeCon Seattle, he said his motto was, "Don't fear second crack."
you know, we may be talking about the green coffees here after all of my carrying on about. It's very difficult to read the green coffee, but as I said, it has a profound influence on the cup. It's just that you can't read it as easily
Yeah.
as you can in light or medium roast. So again, I think it's that bracing, somewhat astringent power of the Starbucks may be the Sumatra. This one had the number 3 has quite a bit of Sumatra in it, but could be a different Sumatra, and it has of course has the Colombia and Guat in it.
I think sometimes with dark roasts, I'll just speak for myself, I think sometimes I am more judgmental and always thinking about the roast. That's one thing that is a disadvantage rather than the green coffees. So I'm not, you're right, I didn't even consider that for a moment, that the green coffees themselves may be the factors.
Well, I think it's a balanced blend. It's pleasant. I can't have too much more to say about it. It's drinkable. I'm getting highly caffeinated from this, and I may have to start spitting.
Okay, that's okay.
If it's not too disgusting for somebody who sees the show, you can cut out my spitting, leave my spitting on the cutting room
Or
floor.
we could do a bonus reel of just Ken David spitting.
Right.
Get the greatest spits, his greatest spits, instead of hits.
Right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I understand that. I'm
But-
getting a little caffeinated too, but that's part of why I do this.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
I mean, I came from music after
me too.
all. Okay.